Good afternoon, everybody. This is Reed Linwood with Group IT System Relis. This is our demonstration video for Sprint 1. In Sprint 1, we focused on the functionality of the CRM system. So when a Trimaxion associate logs into the CRM, this is the information that they will see. If the first tab, their account, if they wanted to create an account manually, they would head over to New Account. And there are some required fields there, as you can see, both the name and the phone number. That information has to be in there, or else there will be a red message that will pop up, as you can see. So now we'll go ahead and enter some information in. All right, now if we go ahead and click Save. All right, and the account has generated. One of the things you'll notice, if we go over to Details, an account number ID is generated and assigned to the group, so that's done as soon as we create it. If there is a parent account, the new account will be linked to the parent account. Otherwise, that's where everything will stay. You can edit that and everything and add, let's say that this account is a parent, this is a parent account, so this will be listed then as a sub account if we click Save. The billing and shipping address information will have to be inputted manually. And this account record can only be updated by certain departments, such as customer care, sales, system administrators. All their departments will have a read-only access, as we are trying to, kind of use UAM standards. If they don't have a reason to be in it, we don't want them to be in it. So, and to be able to make changes, of course. The next tab is our Agencies tab. If we wanted to enter in an agency manually, we can go right up to New Agency. And again, any field that is required will have an asterisk. If we try to leave those blank, there will be an error message. So we want to make sure that those are filled out. And we'll say today is and then we just go ahead and click Save. And same thing, you'll notice that there is an agent ID that does create, and this automatically generated. And you'll notice the forms here, the phone number and the email, those do have to be in that correct format. And you'll also notice the states that they're licensed in, because Trimaxion does work with independent insurers that might work through different companies to sell their policies. So you'll also notice an active date. Also, there is an inactive date. So if the agency, decided not to have their partnership with us anymore, we would be able to put in that they're now inactive. And once that record is created, that third party now is certified to sell Trimaxion products. An agency record like this is only updatable by the system administrator. All other departments have read-only access. We wanted that to be controlled just by admins. It just seems like it's too critical of information to have a lot of access to a number of users. All right, so the next field is cases. I'll just show kind of how a case can be manually added. You can click on either New Case, or you can click New over there. And all the information that is required will, of course, be highlighted in red again. If we hit Save, will not give us that. So this information here, you see the priority, high, medium, low, status, new, working, escalated, or closed, whether it's active or not, and then the case origin, whether it came from phone, email, and web. So we'll just fill out a little bit of information real fast. We'll say this came over the phone. This would be basically the form that the customer service department for Trimaxion would be able to use for customer contacts. They get a customer that calls in that's having an issue. This is they can track that information, the CRM, refer back to it. It'll have the information as far as who contacted, and it'll be a great way for the business to be able to track that information for reports. I'm just going to put in, let's say, Jim Halpert called, and if we go ahead and hit save, all right, the case has been created. You notice there are these fields: the reason, the type, web, email. The customer service rep will be able to fill that information in. That they would have a good record of the case and what's happening with it. We also have a different way that a case can be generated. Out on the website, we added a form. Thank you for contacting Trimaxion Insurance, and this is for customers to contact if they're having an issue. You'll notice that the boxes are highlighted in red, and there also is an asterisk that denotes a required field. If they attempt to submit with nothing in, it will say, please fill out this field. You'll notice that when we fill information in, it switches to red, or it switches from red to black, excuse me. That way we know that the fields are entered. If we only, partially though, it will still reject it. It'll always want those fields filled in. And then once we enter that information, we hit submit. And if we go out to our cases, oops, we're under recently viewed. That would probably be why we're having issues. There we go. You can see, yeah, 140, I'm interested in auto insurance. This is the form that came through our web service. And you'll also notice that the email address that goes in will get an email just with the case number and everything. And it has the case number automatically generated as well. So, all right, the next tab we'll go over is policies. Under policies, you can go to new policy if you're adding one manually, or you can go to new. And just like always, any field with the red asterisk requires information. So we'll just kind of fill this one out for fun here. Let's say that's a home policy. And that the overall price for the policy, it'll only accept numeric characters. I'm going to say that's for the cost of the policy for the entire year. And go ahead and click save. And the policy was created. You'll notice again that the policy automatically generates its own policy number there and everything after we input that. And it'll show all the information that was put in. Other fields that will also be automatically populated are the created by with the timestamp, as well as the last modified by, which user that it was modified by. So both of those fields will automatically generate as well. Also, one other thing of importance, for the policy name, it must be a unique policy name. If the name of the policy is a duplicate, there will be an error that comes up just stating that it has to be a different name. We did add that functionality in. We figured that would be important for customer service reps, to make sure that there isn't any doubling up. And then once that has been saved, it's only updatable by the system administrator as well. All other departments only have read-only access. Then the next field we'll go over, these are the actual policies that Trimaxion actually has that can go out. As far as customers that are actually assigned to policies, that is under customer policies. If we were going to add a new customer policy, we would just click on the new customer policy. The information again will be anything that's required is highlighted in red. Say an agency, a third-party agency sold this policy to this customer, we would want to mark that agency, and then we will select a customer, and then we'll go with policy number, and the effective date is a required field, so I'll pull up the calendar there. We'll say 12/29, and the renewal date is typically going to always be a year, depending on the policy term. Sometimes there's 6 months, so that's not a required field. That can be something that can be filled in later, depending on what type of term they decide. And then we'll click Save. And again, that will populate and automatically generate a customer policy number. It'll say the type of policy that it is, which if we click on P12, that tells us that's the American Family Safe Home Policy, and that's the price of the policy. So there's that functionality there. Again, created by and last modified will show. And customer policies are only updatable by customer care, sales, and the system administrator. All other departments have read-only access. All right, and one of the last parts of Sprint 1 is also our lead generation form from HTML. You'll notice very much like the other form, there's a red box in each field until required information is filled in, and each required field will be marked with an asterisk. So let's say if we entered a name here. As you notice, those fields go black. If we do take one out, try to submit, it will give a message that needs to be filled out. We also have this kind of marketing piece. We didn't make it a requirement in case somebody didn't want to, that you're always going to have people that either don't have time or just want to get their information in, but it's nice information to have, and that will actually apply in our second sprint as far as some of our report data. But yeah, they can choose public event, referral, word of mouth, television. We'll select television commercial. And then we're going to go ahead and click Submit. And one of the first things here, if we go over to Leads, and we're going to go to All Open Leads. And you'll notice there is our lead that was generated right there. If we go ahead and click on that, you're going to notice there's a couple of different things here. Working, contacted. Basically, it's kind of like a status. If the lead has been, is being worked and the potential customers already been contacted, it'll be in that status. Closed, not converted, essentially means that it was a lead, but we weren't able to convert it to an actual policy. Converted means that it actually was converted to a policy, and we can select that as the status there and everything. If we go into details, again, you'll notice that the created by, system information, and last modified is all filled out. And then say if we do select converted, now we can convert the lead to an actual account, and we'll have the account name, all the information, the record owner. We'll hit convert, and our lead has been converted to an account. The opportunity field, that's just more if opportunity to upsell and everything like that. That'll have the account information and the contact name. So we can then go back to leads. All right, and that would be everything for Sprint 1. Thank you so much. I think these will be great technical changes for the company. I think it'll do a lot of good as far as how information is sorted and the information that'll be at the fingertips of customer service and the company. So thank you very much.